Hello, hello, hello. Trying to make sure I can get the comments on this time. So last time I did this, we didn't have comments. And so I want to make sure we have comments on here. So I think this one will go back and forth. So it says everything is working. Let me check this, all my little good stuff there. If you can comment, let me know if it's working, but also if I can make comments or show comments. Audio test.
Audio test.
Okay, YouTube is working. Facebook working. No one's popping up on there yet. Facebook. I want to make sure I want to be able to do comments. So oh, did I select Guthrie News page? Or did I select my personal one? Nope, live now. Audio test, talk. Press, make sure it's there.
Audio test, talk. Press, make sure it's audio test, talk.
Okay, looks like everything is working except for I need someone to make the first comment. So someone did make a comment. It's not on my, I'm trying to get it on my main screen here, I think. It just hasn't popped up yet. Someone give me a comment so I can make sure we're gonna be able to get the comments working. I see my comment. I guess the Guthrie News page comment might work. Let me see if I can get that to work. Send comments. Okay. Just everyone's being quiet right now. Okay, no problem. We're going to give it a few bit here just to, okay, turn that off, turn that back on. There we go. Okay, while we wait just a few more minutes, if you're just haven't watched a couple of things we've done on here, we have a brand new studio, Guthrie News page, podcast, broadcast type center. We are, obviously you can see there, downtown Guthrie. And so we are excited about the new studio. A lot of things coming down the road with that. This is still new. We haven't even been in the studio a month yet. And really, really excited about what we can do in the future on a whole bunch of different stuff. We got some pictures. The studio is almost completed. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to hang on the wall to make it a little bit more presentable for our guests when they come in here. But if you've seen some of our other shows, we've only done 2 or 3 shows so far. But we have furniture. We have this set up as well. Thank you for the comment, Sherry. It's not coming on my screen to send to comments, and that's what I'm trying to figure it out. It's going to be, we can still go through this process, but it's a lot easier if I can see the comments on the screen. So that's what I'm fighting here. We'll give it just a few more minutes here, and we'll go in discussion on the tax. I don't know if a lot of people know about the election for voters coming up soon, but let me test one more thing here real quick. You won't see me, but you should be able to hear me. I just want to make sure. I had the comments off. No wonder. Let me turn them back on. Now they should be popping up here. I hope that's what it was. or did I turn them off? All right, I see Cody says, hey, Chris, maybe I need a... Okay, well, if it doesn't come popping up here in a second, then I don't know what to do on that. I can still see the comments on here, so I'll be looking down and attempting to look at the comments here. Hopefully they come in order on here as well. So anyway, okay, we'll work on that soon. I can monitor both comments on YouTube and Facebook. You can catch all of our broadcasts here on Facebook or YouTube. Those are going to be our primary locations. Also, we're going to have we have our podcast page. So wherever you go to podcast, just type in search for Guthrie News Page. We'll be there. If you want to follow our open mic show, just go to your favorite podcast platform. Type in open mic. That is there. We updated that. We're going to have some cool stuff. Some sports stuff, some news stuff, some entertainment stuff, some business stuff throughout the upcoming year as we come in here into our new studio. So we're going to get started here in just a second. So on this discussion, so if on Facebook, once this is over with, it hangs around for a little bit, but these videos go away Facebook because it's always changing so much. But I always, if I push this button. Yes, if you go to YouTube, it's a lot easier to find. Just go to youtube.com, search for Guthrie News Page. Be sure to subscribe and like. It's all free, but be sure to check us out. And there's videos, there's playlists. It's a lot easier to find not only these type of videos, but any news videos or anything like that. So be sure to follow us on YouTube. Facebook works just as well, but YouTube's a little bit easier to find. Okay, let's get into our topic here, which is our discussion for the April 5th election inside the city of Guthrie. It is going to be for the visitor tax, better known as the hotel motel tax, and that will fund, well, not fund, it will help the city-owned ball fields with maintenance and big improvements. That includes the future sports complex at currently Owens Field. I'll talk about that here in a bit, where we stand on that. But also it would be like Kiwanis Field, and also the soccer fields out by the hospital on Academy, on the opposite side, on the north side of Academy. So those are city-owned ball fields. So that funding, we'll get into that as well, but it will help with major improvements and maintenance for the most part on those fields. So City of Guthrie was awarded won a grant, a very competitive grant, a $1 million grant to help with construct new ball fields at the current Owens Field behind the hospital there on Academy Road. It was approved. The state has said, congratulations, you won. But now it's been held up a little bit more as the tribes are now involved a little bit. They got to go through their steps to make sure everything's good with there. Expect everything to go through there. It's just taking a little bit longer to that to be processed. With that $1 million grant, the city of Guthrie also made a deal with another $1 million to match that grant. So a $2 million project to construct ball fields at the hospital. It's a softball, baseball complex. Now, if we had $25 million, if we had $20 million, $10 million, it would go a lot longer, a lot further. Unfortunately, We were lucky to get the $1 million plus the other million, $2 million. You got to start somewhere. We wish we had 20 to start right now, but it's a start for $2 million because we have been waiting a long, long time to construct and have presentable baseball, softball, soccer fields in Guthrie. I got to tell you, I'll be in Fort Smith, Arkansas this weekend for a baseball tournament, as I have a 7th grader and I have a junior as well, and they have been playing baseball, travel baseball all over the state, and so we follow them. So I've seen it. Guthrie is not only below average, but is near the bottom of facilities that we have that our youth play on. I mean, you play in the flats. It's all grass. It's not level. The fence up, down. Bathrooms or porta potties. Concession stands are on wheels. It's just not a. I'm going to say this also. The youth have tried their best. You know, some groups come in and do a great job, but it's just a bunch. You can't put a lot of money into those just because if you put a lot of money into the flats, you know what happens in the flats? It floods and it takes it all away. So that's the where we're at right now. So years and years, decades and decades of talking. We are at a good point. We're at a good point to finally be moving forward. So that's the $2 million. There has been preliminary meetings of what this baseball/softball complex would look like. It's not finalized by any means. We got $2 million to work with. It's going to be a good start. It's not going to be perfect, but it's the right. It's a good start. It's a good start, and here we are. So with that, with the $1 million from the city, $1 million from the grant, now voters in the city of Guthrie, the city council in January, voted unanimous to go to a vote on April 5th to take a look at the hotel motel tax. Also, it's the visitor tax, mostly known as the hotel motel tax. When you go to a hotel or a motel in cities, you pay, obviously you pay the state tax, you pay the county tax, you pay the city tax, and on top of that, you pay a motel tax. In every city that you go to, now those taxes obviously vary at different places. Right now, in Guthrie, there's a 9% sales tax. 4.5% of that goes to the state, 3 3/4 of that goes to the city, and 0.75 goes to the county. There's your 9%. If a visitor stays in a Guthrie hotel, a motel, a bed and breakfast, that's another 4%. Airbnb is not on there, but it will be soon. So if you stay in one of those, that's another 4%. So right now, it's 13% in Guthrie. Voters inside Guthrie got to be registered, got to live inside the city limits of Guthrie to vote on April 5th. That hotel motel tax, the visitor tax, if you will, is right now at 4%. You will be voting yes or no on April 5th to move that to 7%. That 3%, additional 3%, will go to the ball fields, the city-owned sports facilities. And we'll take a look at the graphic here. And let me before we look at the details and take the questions, full disclosure, full transparency. I'm on the board that has helped with the looking at the steps of making all this come together. There's a committee of 10 to 12 guys and ladies with the city officials, and I can't brag enough on our city officials. City Manager Leroy Alsop, Tenny Maker, Shonda Rooney, Eric Harlow, they have done a great job in this as well, putting it all together for the voters to decide what they want to do. So, but full transparency, I'm on that committee as well. I've been to the meetings. I have publicly supported this. I have been looking for this for a long, long time. Usually I don't get involved a whole lot on this type of stuff, but this is something that is very close to me. I was hoping my kids would be able to go through it. They're going to be too old for this, but it'll be rewarding to see our youth playing on these fields, not only Guthrie youth, but hopefully one day we will have these large tournaments. We have tournaments now, but something to make Guthrie proud. So Full transparency, it's there right now. So, of course, I got some really strong Republican friends who do not like any tax, and I get it. I do not like tax either, but if you want some stuff, it's, you know, what you want: schools, you want roads, you want bridges, you want all that stuff. You got to have money. So trust me, I don't like any taxes, but when I know I go to Fort Smith this weekend for Little League Baseball, and then when I go to Choctaw, and not Choctaw, it's going to drive back, but when I go to Fort Smith, Arkansas this weekend for baseball, I'm going to be paying that tax. So there's the transparency. So they're not going to like taxes. They're going to vote no matter what, and I'm not here to say that's right or wrong. You know, any tax increase, people are not going to like it. I understand that, and that's why we live in America. But for those who are, I don't know, here's those details, and I will hope to get to the questions here in a minute. I don't see too many questions coming in, so I'm just going to keep rambling. And after this stream is over, I will follow back up on the comments and try to answer those best as possible. So, okay, so let's take a look at it. This is, again, a Guthrie visitor tax. I don't know if you can read that or not, but on Tuesday, April 5th, registered voters to Guthrie will have the opportunity to increase the visitor tax, formerly known as the hotel-motel tax, from 4% to 7%. The current visitor tax funds parks and tourism. So right now, that 4% goes to tourism, 63%, parks 31.7%, and then there's an administration fee that goes to that. That administration fee is what's going to pay for this. There's money in the account right now, in that fund, if you will, that will pay for this election. So it's not going to be any other money coming from anywhere else. It's going to come from this fund here. So it will go from 4 to 7%. The increase will open up a new funding source to make necessary improvements to our sports facilities. So that 3% will go to, let's turn this lower third off. Will go to the sports fields, the youth fields that the city of Guthrie owns. The future tax distribution. A lot of people are like, well, here's a new tax. Where's this money going to? It's going to the youth sports facilities. Total revenue is $377,856 with approval here. If citizens voted yes on April 5th, sports facilities on average will get $153,000 a year to go to maintenance and big improvements. What are those? So right now, that $2 million starting point for us, it's a great starting point, but there's a whole lot more work to be done. But again, baby steps in this process. What would this money go toward? Right now, that does not include like sprinkler systems. It doesn't include scoreboards. It doesn't include one field has lighting, so these type of monies would help these sports fields with maintenance. And you know, you save up and get 2 scoreboards or 3 scoreboards. Maybe down the line, a tractor to drag the field, to mow the field. This money would not go toward like paying umpires. The softball league, the baseball league, or if it's one group together, they pay for the umpires. They pay for the concession stand. They pay for the fuel. That is daily maintenance that the sports authority, whatever that is, that's down the road, they are responsible for that. This is to help with big projects. Maybe it's asphalt in the parking lot. Right now, it's going to be it's not going to be asphalt because we are taking baby steps toward that. So that is where that funds will go to. The parks will still get their amount of money. Tourism will still get their amount of money that's already coming in, plus that administration fee. If this were to pass on April 5th, this all would take effect on July 1st. Okay. Let's go to card 2. Card 2, a little bit harder to read, so I will, I don't know if you can see that on your screen. I apologize. I can barely read it myself, and so I'm going to look in here real quick and read to you. What is this visitor tax, formerly known as a hotel tax? The visitor tax is charged to a person for each day they stay in a hotel bed, a bed and breakfast, or short-term rental property inside Guthrie city limits. Okay, next thing here on our little brochure here. If I live in Guthrie, do I have to pay this? This tax is only paid by a person staying in a hotel, bed and breakfast, or short-term rental in Guthrie. Short-term rental could be like an Airbnb, which has become very, very popular. How does this affect me, a Guthrie resident? I'm a Guthrie resident, born here, graduated here, got married here, had kids here. I will be one of those fancy cemeteries out there one day. Guthrie resident, that's us. The revenue generated by the visitor tax increase would fund improvements to sports facilities. These improvements would mean more visitors, which creates jobs, generates businesses for local hotels, restaurants, business for local hotels, service providers, and increases our tax revenue through visitor purchases. It also provides more opportunities for our Guthrie youth and adults to participate in organized sports. That's the other thing. I forgot to mention, talking about youth sports, this will also, with the field of signs that, again, nothing has been finalized on field of signs, and there would be public meetings on this in the future with the city, but adult softball, I know there's an adult softball league that it goes on every year in Guthrie. We hope to build fields that would help them as well. You build big field, and then you can bring in some temporary fencing or some fancy fencing for your youth softball. That's one thing that that committee will take a look at. So this is really bitty writing, so I'm going to read it back to you. What are the numbers? Our current tax rate is 4% here in Guthrie. And by increasing the tax to 7%, a hotel room that currently costs $100 will increase by $3. The total tax for a hotel room that costs $150 would increase by $4.50. Perry, Enid, and Ponca City are all at 8%, and Sand Springs and Stillwater are at 7%. If this increase were to pass on April 5th, the visitor tax for 2022 would be roughly $380,000. This would generate about $155,000 to our sports facilities, $135,000 to tourism, and $70,000 to our city parks. Stillwater just recently went through this exact same process right here, the visitor tax, but known as the motel tax, and it passed by a big margin. So they went from 4% to 7%. Cushing is expected to follow them pretty soon with their election. Edmond was set to increase theirs or have discussions to increase their hotel-motel tax until I don't know if you follow, but the situation in Edmond with Hafer Park, the people voted yes to keep that, to buy that land from a developer. The developer was going to put some apartments or some studios of some sorts. The residents wanted to keep the park a park, and they voted yes for that bond proposal. So now they're paying a tax, and they didn't want to have that tax. Edmond didn't want to have that tax plus a hotel tax all on the ballot at one time. And so they are postponing this discussion until a little bit later time, because usually when you have two proposals on a ballot, most people will go, I will vote for yes, but I won't for that, but I'll vote no for that. There's just how those little strategy, if you will, on that. So those are the broad idea of everything. So I will look at your questions here. Will anything else be on this ballot? No. Thank you, Kathy, for that question. This is the only thing that's on the ballot on April 5th. Now, during this time, people will be filing their paperwork to run for county, city, and state offices, but this is the only thing on the April 5th ballot. So not very many people usually get out on these type of small municipality deal, but we encourage everybody to get out there and vote on April 5th for this. After the April election, the next election will be in June for the primaries for Republican and Democrat, whether it be for a couple of county commissioner seats are up, a couple of city council seats are up, the assessor's up, the treasurer office is up, those elections, that's later on. So this will be the only thing on the ballot there. Will this build a sports complex or expand the current ones? Thank you, Kathy. This, again, $2 million will begin the process of building a sports complex. This is a complement, this funding mechanism would be a complement to what is going on, that will be going on out there. Again, whether it's adding scoreboards, adding more fields. Right now, it's going to be, these fields right now are going to be softball fields. And I know our baseball people want baseball fields, and I want them too, but we only have $2 million to work with at the beginning. So right now, there are going to be softball fields, but I go to tournaments, I would say 50 to 40% of the baseball tournaments that we go to, 12 and under, 13 under, 11 under, a lot of those fields are all dirt infields, softball fields, and they get those portable mounds out there, and kids, boys, baseball players pitch on a portable mound. Edmond has portable mounds. Now they have, Mitch Park and Edmond, they have almost all softball fields, but some baseball games are played on the all dirt infields or softball fields, if you will. But so if we had 20 million, we would have baseball and softball at the same exact time, but we're building up to that. So, but this will help with, again, scoreboards, more lights, all that good stuff. The $2 million is a couple fields, one of those fields with nice lighting, the new LED lighting, hopefully. Again, this is all preliminary. A concession stand would be part of that. Parking, rock, gravel type stuff would be on part of that $2 million as well. So I don't see a whole lot of questions yet. Again, a lot of people are probably at dinner or at work right now, and as more comments come in, I'll try to answer those in the comments. I don't see anything on YouTube right now. My comments, I would normally pop on the screen. I don't have them there, so. Kathy says there are a ton of Guthrie kids who play in Edmond because of conditions here. This might bring us back. Yeah, my kids played in the Edmond League until they took up primarily travel ball. And I know when my kids' team was playing in Edmond, there was 3 or 4 other Guthrie teams playing in Edmond. And so the idea is to give our local youth the great facilities that they deserve to play on, but also, you know, maybe you play league night on Monday and Thursday nights. You can spread it out through the week because hopefully there will be lights on all the fields, so you can spread them. You can have multiple games on one night or spread them out through the week, and then maybe on the weekend you have an 8-team softball tournament or a 12-team Little League baseball tournament or one maybe adult softball tournament or whatever. But maybe so it's a multiple use, and I can tell you my kids started I'll just use mine for reference. In softball, they play a whole lot more games than baseball does. They stay busier than us baseball parents do, but they're practicing in January. Some baseball tournaments started in February, and I know my kid played all the way through November last year. It got a little chilly there toward the end, but that is from February to November where these sports facilities can be used. People are coming in, and even on league night with local people here, they're going to go to a 6 o'clock baseball or softball game. And then by the time the game's over at 7 o'clock, no one wants to cook dinner. They're going to go out and eat at a restaurant here, which is a great thing as well. When these tournaments are held, you know, if they're out of town, they're going to find a hotel, motel. They're going to go shopping. They're going to go to Walmart. They're going to go eat. And so it's amazing because every time I go to these sports tournament or these baseball tournaments, we'll play at 10 o'clock in the morning for some odd reason. Chickasha's the worst about this, but we'll go play a baseball game at 10 o'clock, and then we're sitting around till 3. Our next game's not till 3 o'clock. Well, you can go eat. That'll get you to noon or to 1. Then you got to go shop. That'll kill some time there. We ran out of bubble gum and water, so you got to go to Walmart and get bubble gum and water. So that's the idea. This is what all the baseball and softball parents know all about this. I mean, they go through this all week, and I never thought of this, but in fact, let me go ahead and do this before I forget right now. City Manager Leroy Alsup, again, I can't brag enough on our city manager. He has done so much work on this to get, a lot of people have done a lot of work, but he keeps everyone going, and Shauna Rooney as well. If you want to watch, go ahead and take this lower third off. Excuse me, I didn't know it was on there. I am putting the link there. In January, there was about a 50-minute discussion about this at the City Council workshop. I just put that link in the article if you want to go back and look at it, how this all came about, if you want to dive into it a little bit deeper. So, I'm going to put that on YouTube real quick. If you guys have questions, I'd be glad to try to answer those. I have been gone, and there's going to be some other discussion tips with this. We'll have Brittany Timmons with the Guthrie Chamber of Commerce on here talking. So this is just a kind of an introduction, if you will. I have been gone for the last 2 weeks with state basketball tournaments. I have hardly seen my kids. I've not eaten at home until we were done this weekend. So the Guthrie News page probably wasn't too busy. You're like, what is going on? There's nothing going on in town. But I promise I have been busy with state basketball tournament. But I'm back and glad to be back just in time to go to Little League Baseball. The City of Guthrie, on their Facebook page, they put out a thing, a similar brochure giving out information. The city is not going to tell you to vote yes or no. But I did see they had a Facebook post that I saw almost 200 comments on there. And maybe this will be there as well. But I saw a lot of the questions here, and I'm not seeing any right now. Again, I'll reply to those here in a little bit. But I did see some questions on the City of Guthrie's Facebook page, and I took some of them down because, again, I want to be transparent in everything that we do here on this deal, so everybody knows exactly what's going on, not only about the election, not only about what it is, but where I stand as well. But Zach Warner, a couple days ago on City of Guthrie's Facebook page said, "So I don't see the issue. I hate taxes. Most people do not helping other towns. Us in the end. Guthrie is an old town, needs to grow." Well, not really a question. Benny Barker posted, "I think there's a great need for the proposed complex, and I, for one, am very glad that we are not seeking to raise funds through additional sales tax. I'm curious, though, as to the duration of the tax. Not that it's going to have a great impact on myself unless there is some kind of catastrophe at our house." What Benny's talking about, he's not going to stay in a hotel here in Guthrie, so he's not going to be paying a tax unless the light, the power goes out, which we saw last year. But he goes, "I guess my question is there going to be a sundown clause when the project is completed?" Benny, that answer is no. There will not be a sundown on this. So this, right now, expected revenue about $155,000 a year for the sports facilities. Not, again, Kiwanis, Future Complex, soccer fields. It'll continue every single year, just like the tourism and the parks. That was introduced in 1998 at 4%, where it is right now. There's never been an increase in the hotel motel tax until this proposal right now. So that tourism's been getting money since 1998. The parks have been getting money since 1998. And so that's why you can see a lot of updates throughout the years through Banner Park, Highland Park, Manor Wells Park. So that would be the same concept with the sports complex. So that's a great question, Benny. Again, I got that off of Benny on the City of Guthrie deal. My apprehension stems from the hospital tax we paid to the county for several years after the hospital was completed. Will there come a time when those funds need to be redirected, or are they earmarked permanently? And I hope I answered that one the right way for you, but they are earmarked permanently, just like park and tourism. Tammy Riggs on the city's page asked, "How much of this money will actually be used for what is intended for?" I know people are always, when it comes to government, they're like, but I can tell you, with city government and county government, they are the closest to the people, so it's a lot easier to follow the money than it is on the state level or obviously the national level. But if you have any questions on that, the city council meets every couple times a month. The city manager has an open door policy. Go in there and talk. If you have those questions, please ask. Now, some people are automatically think the government's going to cheat them and all that good stuff, which I'm sure it happens. But the people that run the city and county, whether you like them or not, I've been following I've been doing news page since 2011, and they mean very well. They try their best. Do some people go off on site? Sure. Hopefully they get caught. But I have a lot of trust in our administration right now. 15 years from now, will something change? I don't know. I'm not going to promise that, but I can tell you that the people who run our city and county locally try their best for the people. So, but there's people always going to never trust the government. I understand that. I'm not saying you're dumb. You're idiot. I see it as well. I've seen it happen as well. Let's see here. All governments say it will, but there always seems to be a loophole, misappropriation of funds. Again, that money, there's a yearly budget, there's conversation, you can see where all of them, actually, if you, on the city council packet, if you want to get technical with it, you can go to the City of Guthrie page, look at the county agenda, or city council agenda, and all the funds that are spent are listed in the packet. So you can do this as much as you can do as much work as you want. But if you have questions, I would strongly ask that you go talk to the people instead of just assuming what you seen 5 years ago or 8 years ago, or what you saw on Congress, U.S. Congress, all that stuff. They mean very well, I promise you. So those were some of the questions I saw from the Guthrie, City of Guthrie Facebook page. Again, this is one of many things that we'll have here in the coming days. We'll be working on an article. We'll have more people in here talking about that. I hope to have Brittany Timmons with the Chamber of Commerce talking about this. Hope to have some parents as well talking about this here. Because the city can't have... They can have forms and discuss it, but they can only give you the facts. And so maybe there's someone who wants to discuss the other side. I know a lot of people are in support of this, but if you don't support this, I would like to hear what you have to say as well. If you, we can do it professionally, of course. We're all here in Guthrie, so we're going to do this best we can. But I just want to be transparent as much as possible with this deal. Of course, as you can tell, you can tell I support this deal. I support the future, the kids and all that good stuff. I understand your viewpoints on those, but I for sure support this. Well, I don't see any questions. Boy, you guys are letting me off easy tonight. I don't see any questions or comments. I think I got all my graphics out of the way. But again, this is streaming live on Facebook, also on YouTube. And if you want to go to YouTube, right there, youtube.com/Guthrie news page, and all the videos that we do, all the news events, all that stuff is there on the YouTube page, because it's easier to find videos on YouTube than it might be on Facebook. So I hope I explained it. I hope I didn't ramble too much on this situation, but there's going to be brochures coming up that will be out on town. Our youth baseball, I know they're having sign-ups coming up here. I'll get that out there as well. But if you have any questions, be sure to send them to me. You can email news@GuthrieNewsPage.com. You can talk to your city council members. You can talk to anybody, city staff with the City of Guthrie. They will answer your questions, and I know for sure I'll answer every single one of them as well. So again, a reminder, April 5th, register voters inside the City of Guthrie. And if you're not registered, you need to do that here pretty quick, here within the next, I think maybe next week is the deadline to register to vote to be, I'm not sure. I did an article, and I can't remember what the date on there. There's so many dates. But if you go to the GuthrieNewsPage.com and go to the news section, there's a few articles in there about how and when to register and what date. There's also, if you want to change your party affiliation for the later elections, this is a nonpartisan issue, so anybody that's registered can vote in this. But if you want to vote in June and November and all those other dates, be sure to register. And also, if you want to change your party affiliation, if you want to go Republican to Democrat or vice versa, or Democrat to Libertarian or Independent, there's a deadline for that as well. So all that's under the news tab under Guthrie news page. Okay, I'm going to get out of here, stage left. Again, this is our new studio here in downtown Guthrie. As you see there, we got some cool pictures that I'm going to hang on the wall. I'll show them to you real quick, if you don't mind. They're just got them today. They're very, very cool. So here's one. Keep that out of the light there. That's a aerial view of Guthrie. That'll be on the wall. Oops. How cool is that one? Get that in this frame. That is cool. Cool, cool, cool. By the way, new gazebo in Guthrie. It replaced the other one at Harrison and Division. Check it out. It's very, very cool. That was funded with a TSEC grant, and also City of Guthrie Public Works built that, and as they did the others in Mineral Wells Park. Saved us a lot of money. Good job to you guys. Here's another one. This one's really, really, really cool. The night, the moon over beautiful downtown Guthrie. That looks awesome. I got another one right here. I got 8 of them total that are going on there, and that's a good start there. Guthrie football, get that light. How about that? Running on the Jellsman Stadium. That's from 2007, but that photo, 2007, but I love, maybe 2008. But I love that picture. Had to have that one. Got to grab the rest of these here real quick. There's 4 more I want to show you. I got a lapel mic so I can just walk around the studio, but I got to make sure when we have guests that we're not streaming live or that they're at the mute. But here's one. The courthouse. And I don't think you can tell in there, but it's snowing. It looks really, really, really cool. One of my favorite pictures, Aaron Ryburn took this picture at Red Brick Nights. That's Gary Seelig. Everybody know Gary? That is Gary videoing the fireworks show a couple years ago at Red Brick Nights. I love this picture. Aaron Ryburn captured that. He's the TV guy for the City of Guthrie. Now, I took this picture, and this is one of my favorite pictures. I was one of the first ones to have a drone here in Guthrie, but then the FFA got involved, and I didn't want to take that long test. But I took that picture with my drone. I think that would have been 2017. Of course, that's Squires Field. Hopefully, those cool baseball, softball fields at the sports complex will look like that. Casey Porter loves, actually, Field of the Year a couple years ago, a couple of times. But hopefully, our baseball, softball fields at the complex will look like that. And I think this is another Aaron Ryburn picture that he took. Aaron takes some great pictures. Appreciate that. So those are my 8 photos. Those are my 8 photos that I'll be hanging up here in the studio. And hope to have guests on a variety of shows and all that good stuff. So Shirley Ford, thank you. Thank you for putting that in there. Early voting at the election board, March 31st and April 1st. I forgot about early voting. So you can go and vote early on that deal. I always like to vote on the day of. It's like Christmas Day for me. It's kind of geeky, I know. But I like to vote on the day of. And I usually like to go late just to see how many people have voted so far. It's a weird deal, but I always I've never voted early, never voted absentee ballot. I always vote the day of. So anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. I promise not to go too long. I don't know how long it's been, but long enough. Have a great, great week. Enjoy spring break. I think we got some rain coming to help our firefighters out as they continue. We're in a burn ban, but hopefully we get enough rain to put a little dent in that as well. I get to go to Fort Smith, Arkansas to play watch some baseball. Also, off my bucket list, George Strait. I get to see him as well on Friday night. Can't wait. Bucket list off. All right. Have a great night. Appreciate everybody.